Super spooky stories for kids. Animals after dark. Introduction. It is a dark and stormy night. You're at a sleepover with your friends. Everyone is ready for spooky stories. You flip off the lights. You huddle together in your sleeping bags. Rain beats down onto the windows. Then lightning flashes. For a moment, a dark shadow shows itself. Its glowing eyes stare right at you. Then, the room is dark again. You are not sure what you saw. Moments later, a loud crack of thunder shakes the house. You hear a cry. Was it a cat? Was it your imagination? Your friend whispers, "It is time to begin." ARFs in the afterlife. At least half the population believe they have felt or seen a ghost. For some people, just the thought of seeing a ghost is scary. There is something less threatening about meeting a dog or cat spirit. It might even be soothing. But sometimes the ghost pets come back to haunt their owners instead. Some people believe living pets can protect their owners from ghostly pets. Have you ever seen your pet staring at something that isn't there? Maybe it sees a ghost. Chapter 1. King of Cats. The gravedigger's wife sat by the fireplace mending socks. Her lazy black cat slept on the floor next to her. It was very late. The woman was waiting for her husband to come home. They waited and waited. The clock went tick, tick, tick. The logs in the fireplace crackled. At the stroke of midnight, the gravedigger rushed into the house. He slammed the door, surprising his wife and the cat. His face was pale. His eyes were wide. Frightful fact. Cats and people have been a part of each other's lives for 12,000 years. The first cats became pets in the Middle East. After that, they traveled the globe aboard ships. "You look strange," said his wife. "Did something happen?" The gravedigger could barely speak. He took a moment to catch his breath. Then he told his story. What are superstitions? Superstitions are beliefs based on magic. For example, one superstition says that meeting a strange dog means good luck. Sometimes superstitions are harmless. Other times, though, they can do harm. Some people believe that black cats are unlucky. Because of this, it can be harder for black cats to get adopted from animal shelters. "I was digging old Mr. Ford's grave," said the gravedigger. "I guess I fell asleep. I woke up when I heard a cat say, 'Meow.'" "Meow?" said the wife's lazy black cat. "Yes, just like that," said the gravedigger. "I was very deep in the grave, but I was able to peek out." "And what did you see?" asked his wife. "I saw 9 black cats carrying a coffin," said the gravedigger. "The coffin was covered with a black cloth. The cats came closer and closer. They said, 'Meow.'" "Meow," said the wife's lazy black cat. "Yes, just like that," said the gravedigger. Their eyes were shining like little lights. They were coming closer and closer. Finally, we were nose to nose. "Oh my!" said the gravedigger's wife. Then what happened? The cat spoke to me, said the gravedigger. He said, "Tell old Tom that old Tim is dead." Then the wife's lazy black cat jumped up. He stood on his hind legs. The gravedigger's wife screamed. The lazy black cat stretched and stretched. He grew taller and taller. Soon he was 3 times his normal size. At last, the lazy black cat spoke. "Old Tim is dead? Well, I'm old Tom. Now I am the king of cats." And with that, old Tom rushed up the chimney. The gravedigger and his wife never saw the lazy black cat again. Cat spirits. In Scotland, people tell stories about fairy cats called cat siths. They haunt the Scottish Highlands. These cats are large black cats with white splotches on their chests. The king of cats is a Scottish cat sith myth. Cat siths are sometimes said to be witches who can take a cat's form. However, they can only do it 8 times. On the 9th, they will be stuck as a cat forever. This is where the superstition about cats having 9 lives comes from. On Halloween, dishes of milk should be left out for cat siths. People who forget will be cursed with cows who give no milk. Chapter 2. White Dog. Once there was a boy who had a white dog named Ghost. Joey and Ghost were best friends. They loved to roam the countryside looking for adventure. People knew that if they saw one, the other would be close by. One day, when they were exploring the woods, Ghost started barking. "What's wrong, girl?" Joey asked. Ghost kept barking until Joey backed away. Then a big black snake slithered out from behind a rock. Ghost had protected Joey. "What a good girl," Joey said as they walked back home to the farm. The next morning, Joey whistled for Ghost, but Ghost did not come. "Son, I found Ghost this morning," Joey's mother said. "She wasn't moving. There was nothing we could do." Joey was heartbroken. Frightful fact. Dogs were first domesticated by humans more than 30,000 years ago. Scientists have found their bones in Siberia and Western Europe. After Ghost was gone, Joey spent most of his time alone. He explored the woods the way he used to with Ghost. One afternoon, he suddenly lost his footing. He fell and landed on a ledge below. His leg was twisted and scraped. He could not climb out of the ravine. Joey yelled for help, but no one was close enough to hear him. A few miles down the road, Farmer Diaz was working in his field. He noticed a white dog running toward him. He recognized Ghost right away. "Hi, girl," he said. Ghost grabbed the man's shirt and tried to pull him along. "Whoa, okay," said Farmer Diaz. "I'm coming. Let's go." He followed the dog through miles of thick brush and tall trees. Frightful fact. People have always liked stories about animals. Pets are our best friends in life. Why wouldn't the same be true in the afterlife? Sometimes the ghost animals are friendly. Other times they play tricks on humans. They might show humans new skills or bring them gifts. Or they could teach people a lesson. Do you know any spooky stories about animals? Seeing is believing. Everyone has felt lost at some point. You might have gotten lost in the woods, but you could also lose a parent at a store or an amusement park. How do you signal for help? Be heard. In the woods. Whistling is a good way to do that. You don't even need to have a real whistle handy. If you can make any kind of high-pitched whistling sound, you can call for help. In a public place. Find a worker. They will be able to let other workers know to watch for your person. Be seen. In the woods. If you have something brightly colored, wave it around. Both the bright color and the movement will attract attention. In a public place. Your person is probably looking for you too. Find a high point, like a bench, to stand on. Wave your arms. Be safe. In the woods. If you hear noise, answer back. It is easy to feel scared and give up. But if you stay quiet, a person looking for you may not even know you are there. In a public place. Once you have notified a worker, stay put. If you move around, it will make it harder for your person to locate you. And only leave with the person you came with. When they came to the ravine, the dog disappeared into the brush. Joey looked up and saw Farmer Diaz's face looking over the ravine edge. "Down here!" Joey called. "Hang on," said the farmer. He found a strong vine. He held one end of the vine. Then he threw the other end to Joey. Joey used the vine to pull himself up. "Thank you," said Joey. Farmer Diaz helped him hike home through the woods. "You'd still be down there if your white dog hadn't shown up," Farmer Diaz said. "She came to my field and pulled me away. Then she led me out into the woods to find you." Joey could not believe what Farmer Diaz was saying. "That couldn't have been my dog, sir," whispered the boy. "My dog died almost a month ago." Canine constellations. A Cherokee story uses a spirit dog to explain how the Milky Way appeared in the sky. A man and his wife noticed something had gotten into their cornmeal overnight. They saw large dog tracks near the spilled cornmeal. They were much larger than those of a regular dog. The people knew they needed to get rid of the spirit dog. The next time the dog appeared from the sky, the villagers made loud noises to scare it off. The frightened dog ran away with a mouthful of cornmeal. Then it leaped into the sky. As it flew, cornmeal fell out of the sides of its mouth. Each grain of the cornmeal became a star. Chapter 3. A Dark Ride. Based on the original story by Amelia Edwards. It was a hot day, and I was sweating when the wagon passed me. The driver stopped her oxen. "Can I give you a ride?" she asked. "Thank you," I said, climbing aboard. "It's a long way to the next town," she said. "What are you doing all the way out here? Did you lose your horse?" I shuddered. "I haven't had anything to do with horses for 15 years, I said, and then I told her why. I had been on my way to see my brother. Like today, I was walking across the desert. But this time, it was because my horse was gone. For some reason, she had reared up. I fell off. She left me. I thought she had seen something that scared her. I had no idea what I was in for. Who was Amelia Edwards? Amelia Edwards, 1831 to 1892, wrote The Phantom Coach, which is the inspiration for A Dark Ride. She was a successful writer and journalist. She published her first poem at age 7 and her first story at 12. She used the money she earned from her novels to explore the world. At the time, women were only supposed to travel with men. People thought that women needed help getting around. Only men could help and protect them. Amelia ignored the rules. She traveled with a friend who was a woman. A trip to Egypt in 1873 changed Amelia's life. She saw tourists coming to Egypt and damaging dig sites. Dig sites are areas where people look for objects or even buildings that are underground. It is a way to learn about how people lived in the past. Amelia made it her life's work to protect ancient Egyptian historical sites and artifacts. I finally made it to a cabin. An old man opened the door a crack. "Can I help you?" he asked. I explained what had happened. "It's not too late to catch a ride into town," he said. "There's a carriage that runs after dark. Just walk out to Red Rock Hollow. It's the most direct route through the valley." I thanked him and set off. The desert seemed to get colder the farther I went. I could even see my breath in the air. Then I noticed 2 tiny dim lights shining through the hollow. The carriage came into view. Everything was jet black except for the horse's eyes. They looked red, like flames were coming out of them. It seemed strange, but it was dark. I was tired. I got in. The carriage wobbled as the horse stomped its foot. It snorted angrily, ready to get moving. The Ghost Train. On April 15, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln died. On April 21, a train left Washington, D.C. It was taking the president's body to Springfield, Illinois. The funeral would be on May 4. The train stopped in 180 cities across 7 states. At each stop, people honored the president. Every year at the end of April, a ghost train travels that same path. Some people say they saw Lincoln's coffin surrounded by blue-coated ghostly guards. Other people report their watches slow down or stop telling time altogether as the train passes. The carriage began to move. Then it picked up speed. The horse's hooves thundered across the desert floor. "Slow down!" I yelled. Nobody listened. I leaned out of the carriage and shouted at the driver. The driver did not answer. Instead, the horse turned around. It looked at me with those fiery red eyes. Terrified, I threw myself out of the carriage. Frightful fact. Roads where people often see ghosts are called haunted highways. I thought I was safe. Then I looked up. The carriage was turning around. That red-eyed horse was galloping straight for me. I shut my eyes tight. I felt a whoosh as something passed over me. Then everything went dark. When I woke up, my hair was all white. I told the wagon driver. Since that day, I've never trusted a horse again. White from fright, overnight. The idea of hair turning white because of stress or shock is a popular one. But is it real? Some scientists say that it is impossible. You cannot lose the pigment or color in your hair overnight. There is a medical condition that causes pigmented hair to fall out fast, though. If a person already had a lot of light or gray hair, it might look like their whole head turned white. In 2020, scientists tested out something new. They saw that stress caused mice to stop making pigment. After just a few days, the mice had gray or white fur. We cannot do tests like that on people, so we may never know the real truth behind hair turning white from fright.